Hey all, Matt Stockton here. Wanted to give a quick demo of a tool I've been playing around with the last couple days called Repo Prompt. So what is Repo Prompt? It's a tool that allows you to more easily make changes across multiple files in a code base. It's really cool. What it allows you to do is select a bunch of input files from your code base, provide some instructions, and then essentially get a diff back of changes that you can apply to your code base. And you might be asking, okay, how is this different than a tool like Cursor? The primary reason it's different right now is that you can use it with O1 Pro. So O1 Pro doesn't have an API yet, as far as I know, and it's not integrated with Cursor. So if you wanted to use O1 Pro to do coding, you have to find a different way to interface with O1 Pro. So what this tool allows you to do is select your context, get your instructions, and it provides a really interesting prompt that tells O1 Pro a very specific format of a patch to create, and then you can basically ingest that patch and apply it to your files. So I've been using it a lot for some coding stuff with O1 Pro. It works really well. It can one-shot some interesting changes, and been really enjoying that. So I'm actually going to try to use this for something slightly different. So it doesn't have to be code. Like, you can basically just treat this as your, like, almost like your RAG context, and you can select things and put it into the prompt and then copy that whole prompt out. And I wanted to use it to try to distill information from all of the blog posts that I've made over the past couple months on large language models and AI. So I have, I don't know, maybe 50 blog posts over the last 5 months about some things that I've learned. And can I basically summarize or distill that into like a 1 to 2 page document that's representative of the things that I've found interesting? And of course, you could do this with Chat GPT projects. You could do it with Claude projects. You could add a bunch of files. But if you want to try it for O1 Pro, you'd need to somehow manually put together that prompt. And it seems like Repo Prompt can do that. So let's give it a shot. And this is a live demo. I haven't tried this yet. So one thing that's interesting about O1 Pro is, as far as people have kind of learned, it does really well when you give it a specific kind of format for the prompt. It's different than previous models. OpenAI has put out some information about like what prompt techniques work well with O1. But this Twitter post the other day, the anatomy of an O1 prompt, I think it's from Latent Space blog, but it gives you kind of the 4 key things that an O1 prompt does well with. You provide a goal, like what is your succinct thing you want the model to do, your return format, like what do you want back, and what's the shape of that, any caveats that you want to apply, warnings for the model as it goes about its tasks, and then just a bunch of additional context, like what you think would be valuable for the model to succeed in answering or reaching your goal. So I've tried this prompt format out a bunch of times. It seems to work well. No quantitative data about how much better it does, but I've been kind of rolling with this idea. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to build a prompt that's good for this use case, and I'll use GPT-4o to do it. So I do this a lot, this kind of meta prompting idea. Use an LLM to build an LLM prompt. So let's give it a shot. Okay. You are going to behave as a prompt generator for O1 Pro. O1 Pro is a model that does best with a structured prompt. The structure should be XML and should include 4 sections. The first section is a goal, which succinctly states what you want the model to return. The second section is a return format, which specifies how you want to get the information back from the model. The third section is warnings or caveats that you want to guide the model as it makes its progress. And the last section is a context dump, which contains additional detailed information that could help the model as it achieves or tries to achieve its goal. You will take in a transcript of someone talking about their problem they're wanting to solve, and you will turn that transcript into a prompt that is suitable for O1 Pro given the above constraints. All right, let's see what that does. Okay, so I'm gonna just record myself talking about what I want to do. Next. I have written a bunch of different blog posts on my personal website about large language models and AI, and I've done a bunch of experimentation on what I've learned, what I've found interesting, what I've found valuable. There are probably 40 to 50 of these posts that span a bunch of different topics like prompting, RAG, my general thoughts about when you should use AI, using AI for self-guided learning. And I want to take all this information and I want to turn it into a 2-page summary of all of the most important things that I've learned. Now, I want the summary to contain maybe the top 10 topics. I want each topic to have a few paragraphs describing my key learnings. And whenever possible, I want to provide some detailed examples in line. All right. Let's see. I could have probably done that a little bit better, but this is just off the cuff. Let's see where we get. All right. So it's creating me a prompt that's pretty detailed. That might be like a little bit overkill here with all these tags embedded, but we'll just go with it for now. So goal, return format, key learning, okay, warnings, context dump. All right, let's just try it out. If I were doing this, if I was spending more detail on this, I would revise this and go through a couple iterations and try to clean up this prompt. But just for demo purposes, let's give it a try. So I'm going to take that and I am going to come back to Repo Prompt. I'm going to post that here as my instructions. And then I'm going to come in here and select. Let's just select a bunch of my different posts. There's probably a better way to do this besides clicking. I don't want to send all of the, the scaffolding related to like the Jekyll blog in here. I just want the posts. So let's do this. Let's go back. I've written a lot of stuff here, huh? You can select all of the posts you want. And then this is, it kind of tells you, Repo Prompt says, okay, these are the files selected. It gives you the approximate token total, like how long your prompt is going to be when you copy this thing out. And I think the context window limits for O1 Pro is like 100K, so this should be fine. And you can include like the file tree, which gives it includes a representation of the file tree in the prompt. And you can give the prompt that gives you like the code diff, but since this isn't code, I don't need either of those things. I just need my instructions and my context. So you can copy this out, and that's going to copy to your clipboard. And then what you can do is, let's go back to O1, choose O1 Pro, and let's just paste that whole thing in here. And you'll see it basically took all of the files that I selected and just like embedded them as part of the prompt and included the instructions that I put in the repo prompt for the user instructions. And all right, let's go. And O1 Pro, as most people probably know, it's going to take some time, right? It doesn't return immediately because what it effectively is doing, as I understand it, is it's trying a bunch of different permutations of things at inference time. So it's trying a bunch of different strategies and then kind of realigning and coalescing the strategy. So it takes a lot more kind of inference time compute It's doing like this embedded chain of thought on steroids, basically. Okay, we're back. I had paused the video. O1 Pro took about 3 minutes to come back with this response, and let's see how it did. So it gives a quick introduction, and then it distills out some key learnings from all those posts that I had pointed it to. Let me just do a quick scan here. So I definitely talk about how clear communication is absolutely essential for building prompts. Talk a lot about self-guided learning. That's one of my big areas where I think these models and tools are really valuable. Have a couple posts about prompt engineering essentials, human in the loop, and use cases for sure. Embracing niche use cases. Yeah, that's one of my big things here. Is I think, you know, if you niche down and find really interesting applications of these tools, that's really fun to do. Anyways, this looks pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect, but I think in a real life situation, I'd spend a lot more time on the initial prompt, like what are the outputs I'm hoping to get, and what should that format be. But for this, I really just wanted to show Repo Prompt and how you can use it for O1 Pro, and give you some tools to use if you're trying to take a bunch of different documents and put them into your context window with O1 Pro. Now, obviously, if you're not trying to use O1 Pro, maybe a tool like Claude or OpenAI projects would work better, or some RAG system would work better. But I thought this was useful enough to share, just to give you some exposure to this Repo Prompt tool, and just to generally show you how I've been using these tools and getting value out of them. I think the other aspect of using these tools to build prompts, you know, how I basically used it to build the structured prompt, that's really valuable. I do that a lot, right? To turn them into prompt generators, and that seems useful and tends to give better results. Anyways, just wanted to share what I've been learning, and hopefully you get some value, and let me know what you're building.